Oh, hi. I didn't see you standing there. You want to come in? You want to see something scary? Hey, Cinners, how you doing? You're listening to the Sinful Cuts podcast, the podcast where Sean O'Connor and Shannon Bushman-Montalbano break down some of your favorite horror films. We take a look at all the decades, the wild, weird, and wonderful world of horror, and all it has to offer. So sit back, tune in, and have some fun. Here we go.
Hey, Cinners, I'm Shannon.
And I'm Sean.
And this is Sinful Cuts. And we have a guest today.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I was segueing for you to introduce our guest.
Well, no, let's say it at the same time. Our guest today is Nicole
Wolverton!
Nicole, by the way, best last name ever.
Oh, yeah.
I traded up when I got married. I wasn't going to take my husband's last name. I swore it every single time I thought about getting married. But how can you say no to Wolverton?
Oh, come on.
You sound like a badass private detective.
Absolutely. And that's what I do in my off time. Now you know.
No.
Now she has to kill you.
Look, there's a long line. We're going to get into some of, I went through, of course, I was doing some research on you, and there's some interesting things. I definitely want to get into them. But first, I want to talk about your books, and I want to talk about we'll lead into your incredibly interesting life. So first, another Northeast person, you're living in Philly, right?
Yep, I'm sort of right outside the Philly town line, city line.
Massive Philly love. We love Philly. So
Same.
Nicole is the author of what we've got. It's a very exciting time because your book is just about to come out on July 2nd, if I'm not mistaken.
23 days.
Oh my goodness. That's The Misfortune of Lake Monsters. What a title. What a title. So it's a young adult speculative novel. And again, that is coming out on the July 2nd. We will promote the stuffing out of that on social media and just get everybody to the bookstores, online, support local bookstores, wherever you can find this book, get it. But that's not all. We have, okay, so that's coming from Camcat Books. Always like to give a shout out to the publishers. Then we have The Trajectory of Dreams, which was from 2013. That was an adult psychological thriller from Biting Duck Press. You also curated and edited the 2021 short fiction anthology Bodies Full of Burning from Sliced Up Press, and that explored horror through the lens of menopause, which I think is fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
First one to ever do that, as far as we know.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Awesome anthology.
So please pick it up. Again, that is Bodies Full of Burning from Sliced Up Press. Then, your short fiction has appeared in anthologies and magazines and podcasts. You seem busy as hell. This is an incredibly exciting time for you because we have the launch of the novel coming up. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Can I try to stop? So I have my copy right here, which of course is reversed because that's the way the magic of cameras work. And it is a book that is set in the fictional town of Devil's Elbow, Pennsylvania.
Love it.
It's about a high school senior who's about to graduate, and her college plans are disrupted when her family sort of elects her to take over their generations-long family business of keeping the local lake monster legend alive. Fake lake monster, of course. But when she's actually doing her first couple of impersonations, she discovers there's an actual lake monster in the lake that no one seems to know about. And it's kind of dead set on mowing down everybody in the lake or the town who comes near the lake. And she has to give away some secrets that her family is the entity impersonating this lake monster. Well, the fake one.
Oh, I love it. I love it because I'm obsessed with Nessie, of course, Loch Ness Monster.
Same.
But what about, is it Champy, or it's Champy from Lake Champlain?
Yes.
Champy, yeah. Yep.
There's another one in Pennsylvania, not far from Philadelphia. They have their own lake monster.
Get out. Does it have a cool nickname?
Forget what the name of it actually is. I don't think it's anything like Champy or Nessie.
We should come up with one.
I'm telling you. I mean, plus, near Philadelphia, Jersey Devil.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Jersey Devil. Yeah.
Ripe with cryptids.
Long Island, we have Lady of the Lake, Lake Ronkonkoma.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
It's that way next year, so I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, quick interesting fact about that. So she, she was thought to, I forgot her exact story, but she was, an Indian girl that was, wrongfully put to death. And she apparently would take a life of one white male every single year, which did seem pretty consistent. And there's somebody across the street right from where the lake is, and they built like basically like carved out of a tree, like a whole like statue of her.
Incredible.
And as soon as it was done, we have not had a death since.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah, pretty incredible. Lake Ronkonkoma, if you want to look it up. I'm sure it's plastered, everywhere.
Nicole,
But,
I pass the damn thing probably at least 3 times a week because I drop my wife off at the train station. I've got to pass it. I'm gonna
you live right there.
I'm gonna snap a pic and send it to you. I do. But now you're kind of freaking me out.
Well, they're no longer taking white dudes, so it's fine.
Yeah, you'll be okay.
It's true. You know what though? I mean, I was kind of on board with the sacrificial white dude. White dudes, I'm fully aware. We're the worst. We're honestly the worst. So, I was like, we're gonna give one up to the lake. I'm okay with it. Anyway. I will put this out there too. We have Lady in the Lake and we have the Montauk Monster.
Yes.
Which was supposed to be, I think, some sort of like experiment floated in from Block Island and started eating people, which I can't get enough of. As far as local legends, that's pretty much it. But I love that stuff. So I'm sorry, got us all off track with folklore. Love the time that you're having right now. Okay, so just, you know what? I'm going to save this for the end. I'm going to say, I'll save it for the end. I want to know how we can best support you, but I honestly want that to be the last thing the listeners hear. So it's the first thing on their mind when they shut off the episode, which always breaks my heart. So before we get into SLAXX, I have to ask you a couple of things. Is it true that you did a ghost tour in the middle of your wedding reception?
It is very true. So Philadelphia is an awesome place for, reputedly haunted locations. And we were getting married very close to Halloween. And we hadn't initially planned to do the ghost tour, but we were getting married on this paddle wheel boat that sails down the Delaware. And it's no longer there. It was called the Liberty Bell, Belle.
Okay.
And, as opposed to the other one.
Love it.
And the organizer of the events on the boat comes to me and she's like, so I have a feeling that you're going to be into this, but we have another group who wants to go to Old Fort Mifflin during the cruise. Would you be interested in doing a ghost tour in the middle of your wedding reception? I'm like, hell yeah.
Oh.
So
you were probably so scared to ask that too. Like, do you think she's gonna go for it? Do you think she's gonna go for it? And you were like,
she knew me by that time. She knew me.
Oh,
I mean,
good.
Having,
okay.
like, ghost-shaped chicken nuggets on the kids'
Oh, so come on.
I mean, So we took everybody
Incredible.
who came to our wedding on this ghost tour, and we have these amazing pictures from that night. It is, I mean, I've been married for 24 years now. Everybody still talks about my wedding, and it kills me.
Yeah,
That's fantastic. You had the best reception ever.
Yes,
for sure. Oh, I got to do it again.
Yeah. Shannon and I are looking at each other right now because we're both married as well. And like you, I feel like we have very understanding spouses. But we're both looking at each other right now like, man, we screwed up our weddings.
If there's a chance for a ghost tour, you take it.
Yeah, for sure. I got to talk to my husband.
Okay. you live in a 100-year-old house?
Yes.
Is it haunted?
Well,
Is there the chance it could be?
so yes. It is not haunted by a person that we know of.
Okay.
It's haunted by several animals.
Okay.
One of
Okay.
which is our old dog, and actually several of our old cats. I don't know why this house hangs on to animal spirits, but it certainly does. Scares the piss out of me sometimes because, you'll be going up the stairs not expecting to see something, and I'll come around the corner and, like, just out of the corner of my eye, there's my old dog running into my office. I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
wow.
so crazy, but also the coolest thing I've ever heard.
it's nice to have them there sometimes. I mean, I have a
Yeah.
dog right now, like an actual dog. And, so I have company, but my husband works third shift. And so oftentimes I'm alone in the house at night. I
Okay.
probably should not have admitted that on publicly, but
I can edit that out for safety
it's
reasons.
probably a good idea. So, before we got our new dog, we had basically all of our pets had died. And so it was kind of nice / disheartening, not disheartening, but like surprising that every once in a while one of them would pop up.
Get a
But it's
visitor.
good company.
Yeah.
Well,
Ah, that's sweet though.
Yeah, I view it as your house must be so warm and comforting that this is where they want to be. I think that's
I'm gonna
kind
go
of
with that.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Certainly not the only place I've lived in the Philadelphia area that was haunted. My most haunted apartment I ever lived in, I lived there for probably 4 years or so, was down in South Philly,
Okay.
and it was a duplex apartment. The only thing upstairs was the bedroom. And every once in a while, you would feel someone chasing you up the stairs,
Ugh.
which was scary. But the
Yeah.
funniest / scariest story I have, my husband, who is not a believer in this kind of stuff, I was not at home. He was there in my apartment. This was before we got married, obviously, but while we were dating.
Okay.
He's standing there at the sink washing the dishes for me. Great guy. All of a sudden, things that were lined up against the sink just started popping up all by
Okay.
themselves.
I'm out.
Yeah. We had the same reaction. I came home from work that day, found him sitting on the stoop outside my house because he refused to go back in.
Your husband's a smart
Yeah.
man.
I would probably be doing the same thing. I probably would have been a step further and just off the property.
He was the chief reason why we moved out of that. Well, why I moved out of that apartment.
Yeah, that's a little too. I like cool haunting stuff, but that's a little too much for me.
Interactive.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. All right, this is going to be a crazy segue, but let's get into sentient possessed genes.
Mhm.
So, all right, Nicole, I have to ask. We ask all our guests.
Yep.
Why SLAXX? What resonated with this movie that you
All
wanted
right.
to do it on the pod?
There are two reasons, right? Okay, so first of all, I have a soft spot for comedic horror. Anytime there's an inanimate object that becomes the nexus of terror, I think it's hilarious no matter what. Now, it's not just like a recent thing. Obviously, you have things like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, right? That
Love
was
that
from
movie.
1978. Awesome.
Love that movie.
But then, Stephen King, Christine. I mean, come on, Haunted Car. And he's famous for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Maximum Overdrive, right? I am deeply, deeply disturbed by dolls. And so movies like Annabelle or Child's Play, which I know you all covered a while ago. Things like the possessed refrigerator in Ghostbusters. So things like that, I just kind of love them. And I mean, I love serious and scary horror too, but sometimes you just want to laugh in the face of terror. And SLAXX kind of gets right in there. It's not a great film, right? I mean, come on. It's flawed. Definitely not subtle, but like the whole thing of it, it's like Urban Outfitters meets Lush, like that cosmetics store, meets Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, but make it horror.
Yeah.
Would make it horror, exactly.
Yeah, and that's just awesome.
All right, I just had an epiphany, and Shannon really doesn't even know this right now, so you're gonna find out right now. So this week, I started messaging back and forth with another podcast. Nicole, I'm gonna put you in touch with this podcast. Anastasia has 3 podcasts. One of them being Attack of the Killer Objects. They discuss,
I love it.
right? I mean, this is like kismet, because this is a perfect fit. She also happens to be incredibly cool, and as you are. So yeah, I'm gonna hook you 2 up, because I think you'd be fantastic on that. So Shannon, Anastasia's coming on in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. No, you actually did. You did tell me this.
I did. Okay, good.
You did, yeah. Like you totally messaged me. I was just like, wait, I know this.
Sometimes I'm a little. I can be a little flighty.
Yeah.
And Nicole, not to put you on the spot, but I'm going to put you on the spot. We're doing in January of 25. Our first month is horror comedy. Will you come back?
Oh yeah, of course.
Great. Yeah. Once you said that, I was like, oh, I'm getting excited.
Hopefully there will be something else good that comes out between now and then.
I was just going to say either that, or can we do Attack of the Killer Tomatoes?
Oh yeah.
I need a reason to go back to watch that movie. I actually have a reason. I could just watch that movie. I love that movie so much. I can't say that enough.
Field trip. Blobfest happens in Phoenixville every year.
We're
going. We have a booth.
We have a booth.
Yeah.
Are we going to meet in person
this year? I have an event the actual day of another thing that's happening on Blobfest, but I can like maybe try to do double duty.
Oh, well, we would love to. We're going to be there. We would love to meet you. Oh my goodness, that would make our day.
The next year.
All right. Yeah. No. Yeah. For sure. All right. So let me just do what we call the hard yards for SLAXX, and just we give credit to the people associated with it. So we have the director was Elsa Kephart. The screenplay was by Patricia Gomez and Elsa, as well. The cinematography by Steve Aslan. The actors were Romaine Dennis, or maybe Denis, because she could be French Canadian. Played Libby. Brett Donahue played Craig. Let's see. Kenny Wong played Lord. Lord cracked me up. Tiana Nori played Barb. Stephen Boggett played Harold. Lance Grave. Nicole, you're learning in real time that I can't read my own handwriting because I'm a lefty. It's always embarrassing for me. And then we have Erica Anderson as Jules. So I thought everybody involved, like the acting was fantastic. I thought it was solid across the board. I thought the directing was very accomplished and solid as well. The cinematography was great. I really liked kind of the bookends of the scenes that take place in India, like the outdoor shooting. I thought they were gorgeously filmed. I thought they were really well done.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's why I love the cinematography in SLAXX.
Right.
Like that's actually the second reason that I picked this movie is the colors.
Yeah.
Like anytime you have a movie, particularly a horror movie that doesn't take itself too seriously, doing something interesting with color as meaning, I'm all in.
This, once you wrap your head around the fact that this is a movie about a possessed box of jeans, and if you're into horror comedy, that's not hard to wrap your head around. You're like, okay, yeah, you had me.
Yeah. How do you know how it came about even? Like, so apparently Patricia Gomez and Elsa Kephart, where they said they were on a road trip and they apparently were having a conversation of like words that they didn't like. I'm sure the word moist came up at least once because everybody hates that word. So, but either way, it was like a conversation along those lines. And then they found out their friend hated the word SLAXX. And so they thought it was fucking hilarious. And they just kept teasing their friend. And they said, like, in our, sadistic minds, it just got to the point where we started sounding like serial killers. And then they're like, and then they just kind of like, her and Gomez just kind of like started writing it down.
Fair.
And then they were like, well, okay, SLAXX, well, it has to be Killer Pants. And then it just kind of went from there. It took like 13 years, though, apparently, from that joke to actually like, you know, like, oh, you want to do this thing? Let's make this movie.
I have to imagine that it took them at least a year to figure out how they were going to make the jeans walk.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That she said that was really, really complex. Actually, the whole, you know, especially the killing scene and the dancing scene. I think the dancing actually was even more complex. Like there was like almost every shot is a separate rig.
That's
so
amazing.
it was, yeah. So they actually put a lot of effort into that, which is really incredible, because it actually it does nail it. It does it. You know, it looks well done.
They're so proud of it. They actually put it in the post credits. And
I saw that. I loved it.
I'm like, this is so, the ingenuity is off the charts. So look, for a horror comedy that's about a possessed box of jeans, this movie actually has a lot to say. Have either of you ever worked retail?
Not in not in a clothing store. I've worked in CVS though before.
Close enough.
Same deal.
And I also, for a little bit, for a part-time gig, I did the kiosk in the middle of the mall.
Oh, I love that for you.
Probably, I did not. That was probably the worst job I've ever had.
Yeah.
The people that just come and talk to you.
You're so lucky I didn't know you back then. I would have been there every day.
I got asked out on dates.
Because of course.
Yeah, you're a woman standing in the middle of a public place, so how dare you?
And I clearly was like the girl that was like reading a book, like, I don't give a shit. Like, you could steal the stuff here. I could care less. Like, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, it was fun fact about me.
I worked at kind of like the trifecta back in the 80s, 90s. I worked at the Gap. I did a short stint at Baby Gap.
Ooh.
I worked Banana Republic, and I worked J. Crew. I had
wow.
Yeah, I was dynamite at folding a shirt.
Does your wife press you into service when you're like packing to go somewhere now?
Ironically, that task has been taken away from me. He's usurped the folding for our trips, and I'll be over her shoulder. I'm like, I could do better. You know, I majored in this for most of my life. You know? The whole corporate retail mentality of the regional managers coming, or God forbid, like the CEOs coming to visit the store, and they treat it, you can understand, work retail for a season, and you can understand why people get involved in cults, like how people kind of fall into it, and they're like, it was as if the Dalai Lama were coming to the store, and I'm just like, oh, this is the guy who doesn't pay me a living wage. Fuck this guy.
Yeah, pretty much. but
it's a cult.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Corporate speak is like that. Anytime you get into like the organized fun kind of, this is the best thing ever, we're family, it's all over.
Oh,
yes.
And then when and we get a lot of it now, when they try to incorporate, care for the earth, free trade, care for how they're sourcing the materials, and you're just like, could we get some like documentation on this?
No.
It's one of my favorite parts in the film when Craig is just like, we don't do any of that. It's just lies. It sounds really, really good. So yeah, I just want
to look at Libby's face when that happens. She's like, you lied?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it's so beautiful.
You poor innocent.
She was so ready. She had the Kool-Aid cup to her lips. She was just like, just tell me to drink. I'll drink it all. Please, just tell me to drink. And then to find out like all of it's bullshit, which if you work corporate for longer than 48 hours, you're just like, oh yeah, okay. And, And not to be
No, because sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, not to be a bummer, but yeah, that's still true. Very much so.
Yeah.
That's why it's super fun, actually, the way, because I feel like reading some like reviews and stuff where some people will look at like just like on the surface, like looking at the acting, because obviously the acting in this film is very over the top. You even got like the social media socialite that's like, I mean, above and beyond like she takes a Valley girl and like turns it up to 11, and you're just like, ugh, like I can't wait for you to die, like you basically want everybody to die in this film, which is
they're so unlikable.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Every single last one of them, except Libby. I mean, she's unlikable for other reasons, but you're just praying for them to just die.
Yes, absolutely. But you get like it's part of the underlying, like you were saying, like if you've worked in corporate before, you're just like, yeah, there's the fucking asshole fucking manager that, wants to make regional and will literally do whatever it takes. And in this case, it's to cover up murder. Like, just like he sees like, oh, I guess she committed suicide. All right, so let's just close the door. Just leave her, I mean, we have the CEO coming. He can't see this. Like, wait, what?
Yeah. It's, they nailed it so well that the store itself, the CCC, is colorful and glamorous and lit so well, and everything is so inviting. And then once you go through the stockroom door, it's just concrete hallways that are scuffed and disgusting.
And boxes everywhere.
Like don't even get me started on that. It's just this massive illusion that's not real. So I just say, this film definitely it triggered me, and it resonated very strongly with me. I was like, why did I work retail for so long? This is insane. But had to pay the rent.
We got to get into some of the kills though.
Yeah.
I forgot her first. I think was the first one Barb.
Jules.
Jules. Okay, so Jules. So she steals the pants, which no, but whatever. And she probably had like the one of the best kills, honestly, where she goes to the bathroom and then she's trying to like take the pants off, and they don't come off until they're ready to. Actually,
my favorite thing about that scene is that it mirrors sort of a woman getting her period because it's in the stall. She's having the cramps. And the whole thing with the super, whatever they're called, the jeans, is that one shape for all, and like trying to control women because diet culture is always pushed on us, and everything about that death made me cackle like a loon.
Yeah, like that's what you get. First of all, you don't steal, and stop being an asshole.
That hurts us all. The thing on the mirror. Love that.
I did love. And how about then after that first kill, then the little, oh, by the way, how about that the jeans are stitched with SS? I thought that was
Classic.
alarming. Yeah. They start to fill in, like the red stitching starts to fill. I mean, the touches that they have are pretty fantastic for this movie. And then I got like a real great Ray Harryhausen vibe when you would see the jeans like crawling along and becoming personified. I loved it. It reminded me of like the skeletons in old Sinbad movies. But I just got such a kick out of it. It's seriously a clever film. They skewer corporate retail so well, but they really get every single like retail stereotype. You get the person who's worked there too long and hates being there, the newbie who's just wide-eyed, the person who's there obviously who's just stealing,
Yeah.
it nailed it all really, really well. But I mean, as far as being like true to life, I know it's greatly exaggerated, but it's spot on. It really is spot on. So
zombification of the workers, I think, is just my favorite. They're all like, yeah, I'm rebuilding my ecosphere or whatever it was.
Yeah. So true. They just like, you get this corporate speak mentality that you can't help it. After a couple of months working there, you start talking that way, and you're like, Well, I'm becoming a pod person. What is happening to me?
Yeah, big product of my environment.
My favorite kill is Lord when he gets first his thumb taken off, and there's that great spurt, and then his hands. And then Craig comes back and finds them all packed up in a box. The efficiency.
Yes.
He needed a foot.
Yes.
Nicole, I was waiting for that.
I need better props.
Look,
I think
all
it's
right,
perfect.
If you don't make Blobfest, I'm going to keep an eye out for you. I'll see if I can pick up a couple more body parts there.
I like it.
Yeah, there you go.
Everybody
By the
does
way,
get.
my favorite thing about the Lord death, by the way, is afterwards when his head is in the box. Very Seven. I deeply wanted someone to go, "What's in the box?" But when Craig is like, "Oh, practical joke," I'm like, "Oh, I love it." That was like the best part for me in the whole film.
Craig is absolutely the realest he's the closest to what an actual character, true life character is, because you will always, within retail, you're always going to have that one person who is just, this is their Bible. This is their everything. And you just desperately want that next position. And they will kill, or they hide a body.
Oh, yeah.
He hides several.
And the great thing is that person, that Craig, always has a barb. They're always going to be in a death match with somebody, and it's fun to watch as long as you're not like directly involved with it.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk. If y'all don't mind, I just want to talk about some haunted object movies, so we can flesh this out a little bit. Now, Nicole, you mentioned a couple. So Christine, it's okay. We have John Carpenter's Christine. I think that's pretty high up on the list of like possessed objects. We have The Mangler. All right, so we got Tobe Hooper's The Mangler, based off Stephen King. That movie is a real fun time, as long as, I mean, it's like SLAXX. You just have to wrap your head around. It's a laundry folder that is possessed.
You just go with it.
Yeah. But if you can go with it, it's a good time. All right, this one I just watched this week, and I didn't even watch it on purpose for this episode. I just happened to be cruising through. Do you guys ever hear of Universal Monsters Channel?
Yeah.
So I have this habit. If I work from home, I put that on, and I just let it play all day long, because it's almost like background noise. But it went from like Dracula's Daughter to all of a sudden The Car.
I knew this.
This weird obscure film from the 70s with James Brolin, who's got this like Fu Manchu mustache, and it's about a possessed car driven by, we think, the devil. And all it does is drive around this like dusty old Arizona town, just running over hippies.
I love it.
It's
goddamn hippies.
It's so bonkers and bizarre, and I'm just like, I can't shoot this into my veins quick enough. So I'm putting this on everyone's radar. So the Car, I think it's 1977.
Yeah, 1977.
Yeah, it's a real wacky one, but it's definitely worth checking out. All right, this one is the one that I really want to talk about. I haven't seen it yet, and I'm hoping you guys have. Has anyone seen In Fabric, about the haunted dress? All right,
I have
Nicole,
totally.
This watch along, right?
Yes, it is so hilarious. Sometimes unintentionally hilarious, but still hilarious. That's actually another film that does interesting thing with color.
All right, it's
So
a beautiful red dress.
Right?
It's that beautiful red dress.
Yes.
It's like the haunted object in it. And I really love the actors in that movie. And I've been dying to watch it now for honestly years. Damn thing's been out forever.
It's
I got full
super.
break. All right.
So it has a very the Red Shoes-esque quality to it.
Okay.
In a weird way, in a very different way, but it has sort of that whole thing going with it. you might have seen this. It also reminded me a little bit of Bad Hair.
Okay, yeah, I've seen Bad Hair.
Yeah. Definitely less intentionally funny than Bad Hair, but
Okay.
still sort of in that same sort of groove.
Let's say mold. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, when I saw that on my list, I was like, ooh, I feel like this. I mean, we'll stick with the clothing aspect of it, but it felt like that was going to be a good one, good watch long. Then we got Chucky, we have Child's Play, Haunted Doll, Annabelle, and Nicole, I'm with you. Dolls freak me the hell out.
Yes. I can't.
You know how you walk into like out here when we have in the Hamptons, and I'm sure you have it in Philly, you walk into an antique store or something like that, and they'll usually have them on a rocking chair like in the corner, and they're just looking right into your soul. I gotta walk out. I can't do it.
So I have a story. When I was a little kid, my grandmother, we stayed a lot with my grandmother. My grandmother had like a 3 or 4 foot tall Chatty Cathy doll.
Okay.
And it was in the guest room. And I mean, I was not a tall kid ever. I'm still not tall. I'm like 5'2". But at the time, I was like the same height as this doll. So it would be in the corner, like staring at me in the dark. And it had like this long, ratty blonde hair. I'm like, oh my God. And that is where it came from. That is my fear of dolls in a nutshell.
Yeah. No, that's messed up.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I have dolls and I have clowns because my mother, in her psychotic decisions when we were babies, myself, my brother, and my sister all had a like a red, like a velvet clown painting above our crib, the same one. She kept it there, and we all had the same crib in the same room eventually, and we're all terrified of clowns because of this fucking painting. And my mother, who I love very much, but gaslights all of us. She's like, there was no clown painting.
That makes it worse.
Right? Right? She's like, I don't know what you're
there.
talking about. I wouldn't buy something that tacky. I would never do that. And we're like, you definitely did. And we're fucked up, and we're sending you the therapy bill. My mom's from Ireland. She came over when she was 19. So my mom's, her viewpoint on it is like, yeah, we went through a rebellion and the troubles. I don't want to hear about fucking clown paintings. Like, we had real problems. All right.
Clown paintings that didn't exist.
Good point. Good point, Mom. I gotcha. So, going back to my list, we have. Oh, all right. So this is Shannon and I saw this last summer. Talk to Me with the haunted, possessed ceramic hand. That was Shannon and I saw that with Shannon's husband Matt. We left the theater. We all liked it, but that damn movie's grown on me in a year. It really has. I need
to see it again because I'm with you. I was like, this is all right. But if you say it grew on you, I'm going to give that a second chance.
Yeah, especially with the second one coming out. Yeah,
right.
There's a sequel coming out. Yeah.
You know what I think it was? It was the goddamn marketing of, this is the scariest movie you're going to see. Yes. Oh, you'll tear your eyes out. And then we saw it, like, it's good. But I listened to the dumb marketing and I thought it was going to be the best thing ever. So now a year later, I'm just like, I think I might have been a little unfair. And I think it's a pretty damn scary movie in its own right. And I love the concept of it because as a dumb kid who's grown up into a pretty dumb adult, I would definitely then and now grab that hand.
Oh yeah. Like, I absolutely would have been a part of that.
Yeah. Although I would tell Shannon, I would definitely have like a backup. I tell Shannon, like, okay, like a minute and 30 in.
Oh my God. Rip you right out.
All the other kids are on the other side of the room. I'm like, can I get someone here to just like, come on. So, the last one I wanted to bring up, and this is kind of like a fan favorite for me. I want to get your opinion on it. How about Oculus by Mike Flanagan, the haunted mirror or the possessed mirror?
I have never seen it.
Okay, not a lot of people have, Nicole. Don't worry, not a lot of people have. It's kind of like a blind spot. I just happened to catch it on cable one day, and then Mike Flanagan became Mike Flanagan, so people are coming back to it. Mm-hmm. But it's a banger. It's
been on my list for years. There are some movies
nasty.
you just never get to.
Yeah, trust.
You know,
Well, never-ending list ever. That and books as well. I have a list.
Oh my God, yeah.
please,
yeah.
Now your books go on my
Yeah, oh yeah. I was gonna say I just added like 3 more.
But we
it's a good
promised
problem. It's a good problem though.
And look, we promise we'll buy them, and we'll definitely read them. We just can't. We'll buy them immediately, but we can't promise when we'll read them because I feel like it's this long. But we'll get to them. Oculus is kind of like what we were talking about with Talk to Me. There was no press on Oculus, so it's that nasty little movie that's kind of it gets under your skin and it kind of goes for it. You know, I mean, it takes those swings. And I really like it for that. And it's a, smaller budget. But
so by the next time I see you both, I will have seen it. That is my pledge to you.
Huzzah.
And the next time we see you, you know what? Let's go come full circle. The next time we see you, we will absolutely have read the novel.
Mm-hmm.
It's a deal.
I can move it up. It's my list.
Exactly.
We can do whatever I want with it.
Yeah. So now, Nicole, we know that one of your sweet spots is haunted objects. Mm-hmm. I like that as well. What about with novels though? We've talked about movies. What about novels? So I might want to put some on your radar because I made a little list.
Okay, so weirdly, movies with inanimate haunted object or possessed objects or whatever, that's my thing in film. In books, I'm much more of a ghost girl. Like not a haunted object thing, but just like a haunted place.
Okay. Could you, for our Cinners, could you recommend, I hate to put you on the spot, but it's also what I love to do. Could you recommend a great ghost novel? Besides your works, which we will promote that stuffing out of, but could you promote something that you really, really love and put it on their radar?
Yes. Let me think. What did I just finish? Okay, so there are a couple things that came out this year by debut novelists that I'm going to recommend. Both of them are young adult horror. One is, I think it's called Dead Girl Walking.
Nice.
It's by Sammy Ellis, who's also from Philadelphia. The book is set in a summer camp that's horror themed. And amazing. It is, I know. It's specifically for Black and brown girls who are gay.
Okay.
And it has like this generational lasher, like Anne Rice lasher, almost kind of a thing to it, Mayfair witches type of stuff. Not about a witch, but it's got like that feel to it. But it also is very much in the Friday the 13th slasher oeuvre. Which so good. So tense. Highly recommend that. Another one I finished not long ago was Lockjaw by Matteo Cirilli.
Okay.
I think he is from Toronto. And it is about a trans kid who basically runs away from home and ends up in this small town that has a secret. And you can't tell who's doing the actual killing. Is it ghosts? Is it the actual adults in the town? And the thing I love about this book, like absolutely love, is the dog has its own point of view.
Oh,
it sounds insane. So good.
No, I love everything about that. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I am going to put those in the show notes as well. So this way we can, I'd love it when we can point our listeners in new directions and give them some treats that maybe they weren't aware of. I
would recommend looking at all the 2024 debut authors for this year, particularly in horror, speculative, like paranormal thrillers. There is some amazing stuff that's come out and that's due to come out toward the end of the year. I mean, unbelievable year for thrillers and horror.
How about, you said it. Oh boy, did you just say it. How about StokerCon just passed? By the way, StokerCon's in Connecticut next year.
I'm going.
Yo, so are we.
We want to go.
See you there.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much.
I just booked my hotel the other day.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Well, we should probably do that soon too then.
Yeah, we'll get on that. And that's on the laundry list. But I'm on social media. I'm following, all these authors that were there, and it was like the smiles on faces and the excitement. And we've had, I mean, besides yourself saying it right now, which those words are so true. The past couple of years have just been phenomenal, and what's on the horizon is reason to get even more excited. But Jonathan Jans last week, and Clay McLeod Chapman and Paul Tremblay, we've had, look at me shamelessly name dropping. It's true. It's true. I mean, Sadie Hartman, Emily Hughes, especially Sadie and Emily, because this is their world.
Really
they
great.
are like, you ain't seen nothing yet, And then these two incredible women release their own stuff.
Amazing.
Telling people what to watch and what to read, put this on your radar. Oh, I love it. It's just, it reminds me of, because I'm old enough, it reminds me of that time in the 80s where you couldn't turn without bumping into more and more exciting horror.
Yeah.
And it was just like you were just high on your own supply. It was fantastic. It was so fantastic. Things like that now. And you're part of it.
Yay!
No one would have ever thought.
Cool. Oh my God. So yeah, I just sorry to get us on a tangent, but I had to bring up StokerCon because it just looked like such a great time, and everybody was having
horror
so
prom.
much fun. Yeah, right. I kind of love it because, let's be honest, I mean, horror kids. I'm a monster kid. I'm a horror kid, and hey, look, I had a great childhood. But I was not. I certainly wasn't Homecoming King or the star quarterback. I was the kid reading Fangoria, but I found my people, but now, like that, we live in a time now where kids that are that age, young kids and teens, tweens, they can be that person and they don't have the stigma. I hope, I feel like they don't have the stigma.
Certainly less.
Yeah, for sure, Nicole, absolutely. But I feel like they can be who they want to be as far as in that horror realm, or like that nerd realm, which I proudly am and proudly was. They can wear that on their sleeve and not feel like they're going to get stuffed in a locker.
Yeah.
So I kind of love that for this generation, for the younger generation.
Yeah, if social media did at least like one good thing, it definitely helped people find their communities. Amongst like even like the queer community, that got their own, thing going on as well, and they could all come together. And the horror community, the nerd community, like you said, Sean, it's actually a nice thing. I know there's a lot of flack with social media, but there are some good sides to it as well that we have to always remember.
But Shannon, to your point, there's this thread that goes through that now, like the queer community and the horror community and the nerd community, like it's just interwoven now as a community. Sorry to get all corny as hell, but
it is true though. Yeah, you're right.
It's so exciting. We're like we're like Voltron. We all assembled and now we're like
I'm looking at Power Rangers. Total Power Rangers.
Oh, I love it.
I want to be the saber-toothed tiger.
You got it. I wanted to bring up a couple of novels that are haunted objects, possessed objects that I think people will know, but there may be one or two that'll pop up on radars that people aren't aware of. So, of course, we have Ring. So you've got that is just like, what a great movie and what a great book by Koji Suzuki. And then This Thing Between Us by Gus Moreno. Now, Nicole, the interesting thing is we just recorded our Shortcuts episode, which is where, we do like a half hour and we talk about horror, books and movies and news and stuff like that. You will be on it in 23 days as we bring up your novel. So, that'll be fantastic. But we were just talking about the Summer Scares reading program that Clay McLeod Chapman is promoting, along with an incredible team of people. But this book, This Thing Between Us, which is basically about a haunted Alexa, which I find fascinating and also incredibly creepy, and I can't wait to read it. But this is on the Summer Scares reading program, and I really want to put it out there and get it on people's radars. And then yeah, right. So then you've got this one I really want to bring up, this author, Michael McDowell. So Michael McDowell, he wrote this book called The Amulet, and this was back in the 80s. So Michael McDowell's claim to fame is he wrote Beetlejuice. I'm sorry?
I think I've read that.
It was like a paperback back in the early 80s.
I mean, picture the cover.
It's a bunch of people. The cover is gorgeous, by the way. It's like a bunch of people intertwined, like kind of getting sucked into this amulet. Now, Michael McDowell, we know from writing Beetlejuice and The Nightmare Before Christmas, but he also wrote this incredible series called the Blackwater Saga. It's about this small town with a secret. I mean, is there any better than small town? You know? And it's a series of 6 books. And I think it directly influenced Stephen King when he released the chapters for oh my goodness, The Green Mile. Remember that summer where there was like every couple of weeks we'd get another chapter in The Green Mile? Now, Michael McDowell, he did that as well. Of course, you know, he had like book length, like talking about like 220 pages, maybe like 180 to 220. But he released, I believe, 6 of them. It's astounding. They're super hard to get. But if you toe into like a used bookstore, sometimes you can find a couple of copies there in the paperback section. If you do, grab them like they're gold.
Life goals.
Now, but like I love Michael McDowell so much. He also wrote one. Oh my gosh, Nicole, The Elementals, Haunted House.
Oh.
You love Haunted House? Check this out. About a Southern family with all sorts of secrets, and they all hate each other, and they go, of course, what better? Let's all get together and summer together. You know,
Does that make sense?
We're all filthy rich, and you know, like filthy 70s, 80s rich, where like you're just wearing lots of like linen and smoking Pall Malls, and you're drinking gin at 8 a.m.
As it should be.
I just love that stuff. So put that on your radar. But Michael McDowell was just fantastic. Unfortunately, we lost him to AIDS in the 80s, but he was just he was a fantastic talent. You know, I want more people to discover him. So, and then we're getting Beetlejuice. So his legacy continues on.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's all I got, gang. As far as our haunted stuff, I think we did. Look, SLAXX is what it is. If you're down for watching a very fun, kooky movie about a box of haunted jeans, well, this is your movie. You know?
It's worth checking out.
For sure.
Yeah.
And the great thing about it is, like a larger message filters down and soaks into your head as you're watching all those great gory kills and having a good laugh. Let's transition now into our 3 silly questions for Nicole. So, yes. Nicole, the first one is, what is the scariest movie you've ever seen?
That is the easiest question in the world to answer. It is Aterrados.
Oh, yes!
Yes. Okay, so you know it. I have to tell you, I am not scared by much, right? But I put this movie on, and I had the lights off. It was a night when I was home alone. Within 20 minutes, I had to get up, turn on all the lights, get my dog, put her on the couch with me to continue watching. And I swear to you, every 2 seconds, oh, no. It was like that. Throughout the whole movie, I had to get up halfway through and take a break. It is still the only movie that I get really, like, seriously emotionally scared about.
One of the best cold opens to any movie ever.
1000%.
Okay. We've brought this up a couple of times with our guests. We kind of circle around to it a lot. Is, you know, something imprints on you in your childhood, and you're always chasing that. So for me, it was Jaws when I was 6. It scared me. It scared me so bad that I think my shadow's still against the movie trailer. You know, That's how bad it scared me. And thank you so much for calling it Aterrados, because it's Aterrados. It's also, which translates to terrified. So it goes by both names, but people confuse terrified with Terrifier. So when I bring up the movie, they're like, Art the Clown. I'm like, not that fucking movie. The better one.
Although clowns, I get it.
Okay, all right, we're going there.
You're a clown.
This movie was pure, unbridled terror. And I saw it on the small screen, just like you. And I thought to myself, God, if I had seen this on the big screen, I don't know. I feared for myself. I'm like, I don't know what would have happened to me.
Yeah.
So
you're immersed in it. Yeah.
Nicole, I'm putting this on your radar. So we are going to discuss Aterrados with Neil McRobert from the Talking Scared podcast.
Oh, I can't wait.
This, I believe, I want to say it's October, November. It is definitely one of those 2 months. So that's coming down the road. But now, Damien Rugna, the director, did When Evil Lurks.
Yes.
And we're talking about that in 2 weeks with Clay McLeod Chapman.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah. I mean, so we're going to get into some good, scary stuff.
Just killed me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
What? You knocked it out of the park.
The dog.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
No, sir.
That was like the most terror-filled 2 minutes of any movie that I've seen in the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Because you know what's going to happen, and you're just waiting for it. And then Damien Rugna's like, you think it's going to happen now? Let's wait 30 seconds. You think it's going to happen now? Let's wait 30 seconds. Oh, it's so good. All right, Shannon, second question. What do we got?
All right. So what is a trash movie that you love and you'll defend to the death? So people that, it's probably not considered a great movie, but you're like, no, whatever. Fuck you guys. I love this movie.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not horror.
Okay.
That's okay.
That's
the
okay.
pirate movie.
Okay.
All right.
Christy McNichol.
Oh my God. I didn't know what it was until you said Christy McNichol.
Christy McNichol and Christopher Atkins.
Oh my God.
I promise you, it is the dumbest movie on the planet. However, oh my God, the singing's bad. I don't care. I love that film with all of my heart.
Nicole,
I can't even help it.
I saw this.
Okay.
I saw this movie with my cousin Nancy in Huntington, New York at the Big 8 shopping. I actually saw this movie. Oh my God, Christopher Atkins. Yeah, I mean, hey, look,
the only two.
Look, he was coming off that heat from Blue Lagoon. I mean, we were in that
little loincloth.
We were in the Afghanistan back then.
It looks like he still has the same hair from the Blue Lagoon.
Pretty much. I mean, it doesn't age well. The film ages terribly. And
I'm
yet,
watching that this week.
I have the love.
I am 100% finding that and watching it this week. But you're going to send me down a rabbit hole, because if I'm going to watch a pirate movie, then I'm definitely watching Olivia Newton-John and Xanadu, and I'm probably going to watch Grease too, That is my second favorite film of all time.
Yeah, I love Grease too.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we do a Grease too? We don't always have to do horror. We can have a one-off.
Oh my God. I would do it on that.
All right. Nicole, we're doing that. Let's definitely do that before the summer's over, because that's a summer movie. Before the summer's over, we're having a one-off and we're doing Grease too.
I love it. I will wear my pink satin jacket. I will do it all.
Nice.
Oh, I don't have that much hair anymore, but I'll try and get a pompadour.
Yeah, I was just going to say, grow out your little curly Q.
I'll see. Well, I can always buy a wig. Our third question is, okay, if there was a movie that you would like to see remade, again, doesn't have to be horror, what would you like to see remade?
Okay, this is an also easy question. So, maybe a decade or two ago, and maybe not 2 decades, but you've probably read A Prayer for Owen Meany by John Irving, yes?
Okay, yep.
There was a film made based on that movie called Simon Birch.
Yes.
It was the most god-awful film I have ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, correct, yes.
I saw it in the theater because I was so excited, because A Prayer for Owen Meany is one of my all-time favorite books.
John Irving.
How can you say no? sitting in the theater, my husband's sitting next to me. The voiceover comes, John is an adult saying his line, and then it went very, very awry. And my husband wanted to leave the theater and leave me there because I was like, what the hell is this? Like, I muttered the whole movie. That was only the second movie I've ever seen where I actually talked during the movie, the first being Atarados for a very different reason.
Yes.
However, because we are talking about horror films, I do want to mention my second one that I would want that is horror.
Please do.
I would love a remake of Carrie, but I want an actual remake that's more like the book, that's less contemporized, if you know what I mean, than some of the remakes have been.
Yes. Okay.
And I want it to be so scary I'm going to pee my pants.
Which the book is. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the book is wonderful.
Yeah. And I love the original. I do. I love it. But it's not the book. I want it to scare the snot out of me.
I got you. I'm co-sign. Fantastic. Yeah, I'm down. And I think
totally down for that.
I think there's been enough time, especially with the anniversary. Yeah, let's circle back around to Carrie White. Yeah,
it's
that's
time.
Fantastic. It is time. Yeah, I was just about to say, oh, well, then let's do Salem's Lot, but there is a Salem's Lot. They just won't release it.
So
it's coming to HBO now.
When I was a little kid, that scene where the brother, who's now a vampire, is like kind of outside the, oh God, no.
Yep.
I would be into for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh boy. All right. Oh, I'm putting together so many. We're having you back so many times now. Eventually we're going to have to unpack David Soul's, Toby Hooper's Salem's Lot. It's going to have to be a multi-episode.
It's huge.
Arc, because we got to do it justice. But let's wait until they release the remake. We can compare and contrast. And then there was the one with Rob Lowe. So let's get the whole picture. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we need to do that. That one, believe it or not, I mean, Nicole, if you're down for it, absolutely have you back to unpack that. There have been a couple of previous guests. Okay, well, that's good. I have a feeling we're going to steal it from Neil McRobert on Talking Scared, because he does it all the time where he gets like 4 or 5 guests, and we're just going to have a panel. Or, you know what? Neil McRobert can call it a panel. We're going to call ours a salon. We're going to have a salon. And we're all
going to be sitting under our hair dryers, getting our hair done. Our curlers in place.
I absolutely love it. All right, Nicole, this is the point of the podcast where I hand you the keys. It's all yours. This is your podcast. Please tell us all the magnificent things that you've done, doing, coming up. Where can we find you? How can we support you? And we just think the world of you. So we're 100% on Team Nicole.
All right. Well, you already know that A Misfortune of Lake Monsters is coming out in 23 days. I'm very excited about that. And apparently I have booked myself almost solid through the end of the year, which is shocking to say. If anybody is in Philadelphia on July 19th, I'm having my first real book event for Misfortune, and I'll be at Big Blue Marble, which is sort of a little bit outside of Philadelphia Center City, in Chestnut Hill. And I'll be in conversation with Stephanie Willing, who is one of the narrators for my audiobook. I'm
that's so
super
much fun.
excited. Yeah. She herself is a middle grade writer who had a book come out last year. She's from New York. So she'll be joining me. We'll be talking about lots of Misfortune stuff. And it will be a complete and utter trip to hear her talking, because she is now the voice I hear in my head when I think about my main character, Lemon. We also invited the other narrator, Oscar Fabula. Unfortunately, he's a little further away and won't be able to join us, but he is also from the very get-go, he was the voice in my head when I heard Troy, who was my second narrator. Very strange to hear someone voicing that when that's all you've been thinking about for like several years.
Right.
Yeah. I think I'll be a little bit closer to you all sometime coming up, I think in October, for Scary Stories Book Fest in Flemington, New Jersey.
Okay.
Okay.
Scary
That's up
stories.
near y'all.
Okay.
For the full
Yeah,
list,
that's
I'm not
cool.
going to go over them all because it's a lot, but for the full list, you can check my website at NicoleWolverton.com. There's a whole events page with just a lot of stuff. I'm going to
And this is going to be right there in the show notes for our listeners. So just go right to the show notes.
You.
Make it easy for them, yeah.
I'll be in New Jersey. I'll be in Delaware. I'll be all over Pennsylvania. Maybe a few other places added coming up. I'm hoping maybe Toronto. We'll see.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting. I love it. And we will support you on every one of those stops. So we're not blowing smoke, Nicole. Use us as a megaphone. We're small, but we're the mouse that roared. So, and our fan base is growing. Is that presumptive to say fan base? They might not even like us. Our listeners are growing. And we got a real special thing going on, especially in the author community. We love authors. When we started this podcast, we put feelers out to every single facet of the horror community. Actors and directors and screenwriters, and almost 100% of the novelists, of the writers, said, "Can't wait to come on. Can't wait to support you." It was overwhelming. The other facets of the community have been supportive as well, but it was almost damn near 100% of the people, of the authors we reached out to, were like, "Hell yeah, let's do this."
Our writers are the best.
They are.
They really are.
That's why we can't wait when we eventually start to get actors on, where we're like, "We barely tolerate you, but hey, tell us about your new project."
Well.
That's such a lie. You'll see such a display of unbridled fawning. It'll make you sick. At least on my part. Shannon's way cooler than I am.
No, I'm not. The hell I am.
So what we'll do is, because I follow you, so I'll see where you're going and what you have coming up, and we'll just promote that on the socials. But if you have anything that is coming onto your agenda, which we're not aware of right now, please let us know.
Thank you. I will.
Yeah. We'll just, we'll get it out there.
You're going to be sick of hearing from me by the end of the year. I can tell you that.
Challenge accepted.
Seriously.
So we're gonna wrap it up here, but I just wanted to say genuinely, for myself and Shannon, we're so happy and excited for you. We're so blown away that you would come on our podcast, because it's people like you that make the special thing that Shannon and I think that it is.
Yes, for sure. Thank you.
You guys are awesome. This was so much fun. Thank you.
We're trying to make it fun, right? We have a good time. All right, Shannon has to take us out of here, so you know what you need to do.
All right, Cinners, that's a cut.
Woohoo! Bye, everybody. Nicole Wolverton is the best, and she's got the coolest name.